Along to Market Square Shopping Centre today. We're putting the seat of Corangamite under the spotlight. We have our candidates here, our 1 hour forum happening at the moment. On the panel is BayFM News Director Rob McLennan, and from the Geelong Weekly Review, Elizabeth O'Neill is with us as well. Welcome to you both, and welcome to our audience here at Market Square Shopping Centre. The seat of Corangamite, one of the most marginal seats in the country. It should be hopefully educational for the next hour. We will be finishing on 1 o'clock, the second in our election forums. My name's Mark Hyland, and I'd like to welcome our candidates today. Welcome firstly to the Federal Member for Corangamite, Darren Cheeseman MP.
Good morning to you.
Lloyd Davies from the Greens, also Adrian Whitehead from is independent with us today. Jayden Millard from the Sex Party. From the Country Alliance, Warren Jackman. Andrew Black from the Nationals, Sarah Henderson, the Liberal candidate for Corangamite, Nick Steele from the Australian Protectionist Party, and Buddy Rojek, independent also. Apologies from Alan Barron from the Australian Christians, Helen Rashley from Rise Up Australia, and Peter Ray from Family First. Just a quick run through of what will happen over the next hour. Each candidate will have an introductory 60 seconds to make us familiar with their concerns and policies. We'll then cover off some of the topics in a bit more detail over the course of the forum, being fair and let everyone have a fair go. BayFM senior journalist Victoria Webb-Taylor will be circulating through the crowd here at Market Square taking written questions, and we hope to get as many of those questions as we can. We might just do one question per person, just to make it fair, and towards the end of the forum we will put them to our candidates. We ask that they are written and not shouted out at us. That'd be great, thank you. You'll find 1 hour will go fairly quickly, so we'll respectfully also ask the candidates to keep their responses brief and to the point, and that way everyone will get a fair go. And just a reminder too, if you're looking for anything about election information, the Australian Electoral Commission website, aec.gov.au, is the best place to go. Voting early, polling booth opening times, all that kind of stuff. So we'll get things underway with the BayFM 2013 Federal Election Forum with opening statements. Now, candidates, you'll hear a 45-second, at the 45-second mark I'll give you a bell, and at the 60-second mark I'll keep ringing until you basically stop. So we'd ask that 60 seconds could be adhered to. We'll kick off the BayFM 2013 Federal Election Forum today from Market Square Shopping Centre with the Federal Member for Corangamite, Darren Cheeseman.
Good afternoon. So a key role for government is obviously to keep the community strong, keep the economy strong, and keep, of course, generating jobs. The federal Labor government has a very strong jobs plan for our region. That's why we're investing to support and bring the Epworth Hospital to Geelong. That's going to create some 900 jobs through the construction phase, some 700 ongoing nursing and hospital administration jobs. That's why we're bringing Disability Care's head office to our region to again build the resilience of our economy and to create new job opportunities for people. That's going to create some 400 jobs within our region, meaning that our region and our economy can continue to diversify. We also want to continue to support manufacturing. That's why we're the principal investor in the $24 million Geelong Innovation and Investment Fund. Again, we are proud to have this community as a manufacturing community.
Thank you, Darren Cheeseman, Member for Corangamite. We'll move on to Lloyd Davies from the Greens.
G'day, I'm Lloyd Davies. I'm the Greens candidate for Corangamite because the Greens want to create a more caring society. I was brought up on a small farm on the Bellarine Peninsula where I caught the bus into Geelong to go to secondary school, where my interest in construction and the environment led me to go to Melbourne University to complete civil engineering and marine biology. After uni, I returned home to Point Lonsdale to work as a civil engineer, specialising in the design of sewage and water pump stations and pipelines. In 2008, I was honoured to be elected a councillor for the Borough of Queenscliff, which gave me a unique opportunity to work with hundreds of local community members, all of whom were skilled and passionate about creating a more caring society. And that's what drives me to be a candidate for the Greens, because they share my vision of a more caring society and to take care of the environment. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Lloyd. Lloyd Davies from the Greens. We'll move on to the independent, Adrian Whitehead.
Hi, my name's Adrian Whitehead. I'm running as an independent this election, but I'm one of 6 endorsed candidates from a party called Save the Planet Party. We're focused on looking at those issues that are going to threaten our long-term survival as a human species, namely our most issue of important concern that we're focused on is climate change. So we believe that the message around climate change is not getting out there. No one's actually taking it seriously. People just don't understand the fact that if you can see, dune erosion from all the way from Point Lonsdale all the way right through this electorate down the other end to Johanna, that actually something serious is going on in nature and we're stuffing things up. The important thing about climate change is if we don't do anything about it, we're going to end up in a climate catastrophe. It means a 4 to 5 degree temperature rise we're on track for is a disaster for the human race. So we're getting out there, getting that message out about climate change. Thanks.
Thank you, Adrian. Adrian Whitehead, Independent. To Jayden Millard from the Sex Party.
G'day, I'm Jayden Millard, Australian Sex Party candidate for the city of Corangamite. The Australian Sex Party is a civil liberties party, the only one contesting this seat that is actually a civil liberties party. We stand for the freedom of choice, the freedom of expression and the freedom of and from religion. Our policies are backed by peer-reviewed scientific research, and over the past we have managed to influence policy without having a seat in Parliament. This is highlighted by the R18 classification on games, the no ISP filter, and the Royal Commission into Child Sex Abuse. The Royal Commission to Child Sex Abuse. Personally, I am 26. I live, born and raised in Corangamite, 6th generation. I'm currently studying a Bachelor of Communications, also with a Bachelor of Biological Sciences. I have a keen interest in both the natural world and the political sphere. Thank you.
Thank you, Jayden Millard from the Sex Party. From the Country Alliance, Warren Jackman.
Yes, Country Alliance was formed 8 years ago at the state level. It's our first entry into the federal level. We support all activities, outdoor activities. We support rural, regional and country Victoria. We believe in good governance, not over-governance. We also believe that we can say no to investment, which isn't good for our area, and yes, if it is. We think as an electorate we're big enough, strong enough, smart enough and robust enough to let people know what's good and what's not good for us. And also we will support the party which supports our principles. All I ask, if you've made an early decision who you're going to vote for, congratulations. If you're looking for an alternative, go to the website countryalliance.org. If you think that we tick all your boxes, all we're saying is on September 7th, can you please tick ours?
Thank you, Warren. Warren Jackman from the Country Alliance. You're listening to BayFM's Federal Election Forum from Market Square Shopping Centre, and we have the introductory 60 seconds from our candidates. Next candidate from the Nationals, Andrew Black.
Good afternoon, I'm Andrew Black. I'm your Nationals candidate here in Corangamite. There are actually two endorsed coalition candidates here in Corangamite, both the Liberals and the Nationals. I'm 22 years old, I'm from a fifth generation farming family and I study law. Corangamite needs a strong regional voice in the Parliament, and the Nationals, as the only party that exclusively represents rural and regional Australia, are well qualified to provide that voice. Rather than give you one reason to vote for the Nationals, I'll give you a billion. The Nationals have championed a $1 billion regional support fund that will invest funds back into areas like Geelong, like Colac, like the Otways. The Nationals are the strongest voice in the Parliament for primary producers, and our farmers have been neglected the past 6 years, particularly the dairy sector. So we need to get agriculture back on track. We also support a $100 million mobile black spot fund to assist mobile black spots. So if you want a strong regional voice for Corangamite in the Parliament, think local, vote National.
Thank you, Andrew Black from the Nationals. The Liberal candidate for Corangamite, Sarah Henderson.
Mark, good afternoon. My name is Sarah Henderson. I'm asking everyone to vote Liberal on election day because I'm a strong local voice. I'm born and bred in Geelong, and it's so important to get this country back on track. My number one priority is jobs and building the infrastructure that we need for the future, for jobs, for tourism, for transport links, for safer roads, for new industries, and to help our regional economy. After all the waste and the division, we need to get this country back on track. Only the coalition can do it, both voting Liberal in the lower house for me and also in the upper house. To grow jobs, we need a strong economy. That's our big priority. We'll deliver 1 million new jobs over 5 years by running the budget responsibly, by cutting the carbon tax, which is such a toxic tax on this city. I will stand up for you, I will stand up for Geelong, and I'm asking respectfully for your support on election day.
Thank you, Sarah Henderson, the Liberal candidate for Corangamite. From the Australian Protectionist Party, Nick Steele.
Okay, if you look at the local economy, it's doing very badly and it's highly visible that that's happening. Ford are due to close. Once that happens, things will get a lot worse still. Why is this happening? It's quite straightforward. We're being slaughtered by cheap imports from low-wage nations where anything can be manufactured at a fraction of the cost that can be made here. Now, normally we have tariffs on imports to give manufacturing a chance. Now, our tariffs are 3.75%, due to go to zero soon. Now, tariffs in China are 25%. Now, make up your own mind as to why we're losing our economy. Another problem that we've got is, in a time of rising unemployment, the major parties are still going to go ahead with 200,000 additional migrants this coming year, plus probably half that category again. Thank you.
Thank you, Nick Steele from the Australian Protectionist Party. Our final candidate here at the Federal Election Forum at BayFM for our 2013 Corangamite Forum, Independent Buddy Rosiek.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. That is why we're running. This is the Constitution of Australia, and I've read it about 3 times. Most of my policies are on Facebook and Twitter because I've been trying to save the money for other purposes. If people don't have Facebook or Twitter or don't know how to use it, please contact BayFM and I will show them. I am the ex-Palmer United Party candidate, and if you want to know why, you can go on my Facebook page for the truth. I stand for the policies of Palmer United. That's why I ran with Palmer United. But also, it's probably been a godsend that I'm an independent now, because now I have the freedom to make any conscious vote that I wish. So I implore people, if they want to know the facts and the truth, please go on Facebook or Twitter. Thank you.
Thank you, Buddy Rosiek, Independent for Corangamite. It is BayFM's 2013 Federal Election Forum from Market Square Shopping Centre. You've just heard 60 seconds introductory from our candidates that are here today. 16 past 12. If you were hoping to hear the 80s lunch, well, this is probably a little bit more important as we're about to decide what is going on in the seat of Corangamite. We will take questions a bit later on. Our senior journalist, Victoria Webb-Taylor, will be taking written questions from the audience here. And with us on the panel from the Geelong Weekly Review is Elizabeth O'Neill and BayFM News Director Rob McLennan.
And I'd like to start the questions by going straight to the sitting member, Darren Cheeseman. Darren, you're talking about generating jobs, maintaining manufacturing. How's that going for you? It hasn't been all that successful in Geelong the past few years, has it?
Well, we've certainly had, as most of the audience would be aware, a very high Australian dollar over the last 4 or 5 years as a consequence of how strong our economy has been on a global stage. Of course, that has created enormous challenges for manufacturers and indeed for those in the agriculture sector, because imports can come into this country much cheaper than what we've been able to produce those goods for. That's why we've got a very strong plan for jobs in this region. We know our economy is going through structural readjustment as a consequence. That's why we're supporting the Geelong Innovation and Investment Fund to help manufacturing move up the value chain, to make sure that we can continue to be a country that does make things, and indeed a region that makes things.
Okay, I can see Sarah's itching to respond to that.
Well, Rob, I would have to agree that the last few years under Labor for Geelong has been dismal. Labor has failed monumentally on jobs. So many people are struggling with their job, cannot find a job. We have a very strong plan, and to build jobs, we need to grow the economy. That's why we're abolishing the carbon tax. That's why we're cutting the company tax rate, because that will boost companies and boost jobs. That's why we're investing in regional infrastructure. We've got to get this economy back on track. Under Labor, Rob, unemployment is going up, and we just cannot have any more job losses. We've had 6 years of Labor, of the division, of the failures over jobs. We need a new government to get us back on track, and that's why I'm asking everyone to vote Liberal on election day, Rob.
Lloyd Davies from the Greens.
We 100% support the massive trouble small business is facing out there, and we really want to create jobs in the small business sector, and also the transition to renewable energy is going to drastically increase jobs in the energy field, because it takes a lot more workers to actually supply a unit of energy from renewable energy than from coal mines.
Okay. I wanted to go to immigration. I know that's an issue that's important to a lot of people and a lot of people on the panel today. And this question is to Sarah and also to Nick Steele. I'd like to hear both your opinion on this. One of the Liberal candidates from Sydney a couple of days ago made the comment that let's put little inverted commas up there, the flood of boat people is contributing to traffic congestion on Sydney's M4. What's it doing for this region? Is it causing traffic congestion on the freeway into Melbourne? Is it making our shopping centres busy? Sarah, do you want to go first?
Oh, look, Rob, I think most people who have seen what's happened in the last 6 years under Labor would know that we now have border protection policies that are out of control. We managed to secure our borders, and what happened under Kevin Rudd is that those policies were unravelled. We've seen one thing that's really concerning people in Geelong is the waste. The blowout of the budget has cost about $11 billion. So our policies will get this situation under control, and we're very proud of that.
But the question is, do you support what your other candidate said, that it's actually contributing to traffic issues, crowded hospital emergency departments? Do you agree with that?
Well, I don't see that as an issue here in Geelong, Rob. What I see is monumental failure by Labor on this very important issue. It's the waste, it's the 50,000 people who've come in by boat. I start this issue from compassion. When John Howard was the Prime Minister, there were only 3 children left in detention. There are now some 1,800. This situation is out of control, and only the Coalition can fix it.
Okay, Nick Steele, I wanted to get your opinion on that as well. How is immigration impacting on this region, or illegal immigration, to use the word that's been bandied around?
Well, I think that the biggest impact is with the official immigration. It's simply a matter of, if you double the numbers, you double the problems. Now, there's been almost a freeze on infrastructure. We haven't had a building of dams, power stations, not much land release for new housing. Add to that an increase in the number of people, and by supply and demand, you get an increase in the cost of living.
But that's overall. What about in Geelong?
I think in Geelong, it's fair to say that there is a lot more congestion. I certainly noticed driving around the region that as each year ticks over, there are more and more cars on the road, and congestion's not a small thing. It's irritating. It cuts down the time you can spend with your family, and
you can't be attributing that to
simply adding more
seekers,
to the population is not the answer.
Are you attributing that to asylum seekers?
No, not asylum seekers, mostly legal immigration. But I think that with asylum seekers, probably the most important thing for them is, can they get an entry-level job when they come here? The answer is the odds are stacked against them, because we're losing so many jobs overseas that there are so few of those entry-level jobs available for everybody.
Thank you, Nick. Darren Cheeseman, member for Corangamite, would like to respond.
Thank you. Look, Geelong is a very proud immigrant city. We've taken people from all over the world to come to our region, and those communities that have come here have made Geelong their home, and I certainly welcome this community continuing to be a community that welcomes people from all over the world. It's certainly added to the rich tapestry that makes Geelong. It hasn't added to congestion. In fact, it's made this community a much more vibrant place with immigration coming here, and I'm certainly someone very proud to continue to support people from all over the world wanting to come and make Australia their country, and to make our region their home.
Lloyd Davies from the Greens.
The Greens are appalled by the old party's policies on trying to outcompete each other on how to be cruel to refugees. What we want to see is a genuinely compassionate solution to refugees, such as funding the UNHCR in Indonesia appropriately, so that currently the problem that refugees face in Indonesia, they go to the UNHCR, they are turned away because the UNHCR does not have enough resources to process them, and they're left to languish in Indonesia with no prospect of work, healthcare or any education for their children. We want to fix that so that every refugee there can be recognised as a refugee, and where appropriate, flow into Australia. We also want to close down the offshore processing plants that are just prison plants overseas, where refugees are going to be sick from malaria. We want a compassionate solution.
I think Jayden Millard from the Sex Party would like to say something.
I echo everything that Darren said. Being born and raised here, I have seen the positive benefits immigration has had on the people of Corangamite. But for what is an international, a regional and a local issue, should be treated as all three. Why is it our burden to take these people upon ourselves when Indonesia could play a part, so could New Zealand, Papua New Guinea, but also the country and the regions these people are travelling through to get here. It's one of common sense. Both parties have just proved they've lost their heart, and that's something that the people of Corangamite have. We are a caring people. The way that both major parties are treating these asylum seekers, these immigrants, is abhorrent and should be stopped ASAP.
You're listening to BayFM's Federal Election Forum for the seat of Corangamite. We're from Market Square Shopping Centre. If you're in the region, you've still got a few minutes. So we're on till about 1 to come down and maybe pose a question. We'll take a short break and be back in a moment here at BayFM.